A girl stood before an oil painting when she suddenly noticed the sea and ships in the artwork had begun to move. Moments later, ocean winds and seawater came rushing toward her. Even the two boys beside her noticed something unusual was happening. The sight before them was so startling that they couldn't help but laugh nervously. They hurried forward, trying to intervene, but accidentally knocked the painting down. The seawater gushing from the canvas became even more violent, quickly flooding the entire bedroom. The three children desperately swam upward through the furniture-filled water until they broke the surface, only to discover they had emerged in the middle of a vast ocean. A massive ship approached them, and several crew members jumped overboard to rescue all three. To their amazement, the ship had a talking mouse swordsman aboard. Everything around them made the boy feel like he was dreaming. However, the other two teenagers showed no fear and were warmly welcomed by a handsome man. When the crew heard the names of the two teenagers, they immediately knelt down in reverent worship. This was actually the third time these two had arrived in this world called Narnia. They were not only the legendary first kings from 1,000 years ago in Narnian lore, but each time they returned, they brought lasting peace to the continent of Narnia. The reputations of these two teenage kings had become legend and faith among the Narnian people. After being separated for 2.5 years, the current king of Narnia enthusiastically welcomed them into the captain's quarters. The purpose of this voyage was to search for 7 lords who had been banished overseas by his uncle. When the great ship approached an island, they discovered that what should have been a thriving fishing community was completely deserted. As soon as they landed to investigate, they were captured by slave traders. Edmund and Eustace were thrown into prison, while Lucy and her cousin were taken to the town square to be auctioned off as slaves. The merchants bid high prices for Lucy, but when it came to her cousin, they rejected him due to his appearance. No matter how the slave traders tried to promote the boy, not a single merchant would bid on him. At that moment, Reepicheep the mouse swordsman and others arrived just in time to rescue them. Meanwhile, Edmund and Eustace discovered an imprisoned lord in their cell. Following his directions, they looked through the iron window and saw a green mist rising from the distant sea surface. Their ship had vanished. The island's fishermen no longer dared approach the coast because of this sinister green mist. Some ignorant people periodically captured groups of people to sacrifice to the green mist, hoping for safety. Edmund and Eustace were intended to be the next sacrificial offerings, but the crew of the Dawn Treader rescued them just in time. Edmund and his companions resolved to uncover the evil source behind the green mist and save their people.
From the film The Chronicles of Narnia, The Voyage of the Dawn Treader.